Hey guys, welcome back to the Laid Back Homestead. I'm Crystal, and today is kind of going to be a garden chore and harvest video. Got a lot of things that need to get done, so I'll be interested to see what we actually get accomplished because it is hot out here. It's about 87 at this point, but it's supposed to get in the low 90s. So got a lot to do. Not sure we'll get it all done. Let's go get started. Okay, so one of the things I really need to get done today is I need to get the rest of these beds planted out and rolled over for fall. I have some seedlings, baby plants, whatever you want to call it, and they really just need to get in the ground. So I need to get the rest of these beds ready, amended, and planted out. Well, before I move on to planting out the rest of my plants, I do have to do some harvesting. Now, one of the things we're going to do today is we are going to harvest our volunteer melon. This watermelon came out of nowhere. No idea, couldn't tell you what variety it is, but there's some signs telling me that it's ready. So I'll show you and we'll go ahead and harvest that. So the first sign you want to look for is the tendril right above your watermelon needs to be crispy and dried, which this one is. The other sign is that your rind has a dull appearance. I've heard different things about listening for a thump, which I do hear. I'm not sure if you can hear that. The other sign is to look for a yellow dull spot where the watermelon would be sitting on the grass or on the ground. However, my watermelon is sitting on rocks, so it has not had that same level of breakdown it would have had it been growing on the ground itself. So all signs that I can see indicate that this guy is ready. So we are going to take him now. So while I am planting out, my sweet husband is going to harvest everything that needs to be harvested from our fire ring garden. So I realize I've been calling this spot my fire ring garden, but that's not quite right. It's actually our fire pit garden. This space is set up with grow bags on drip irrigation alongside our Dutch bucket hydroponic system. The grow bags have produced a lot of food for us, but we've run into a big issue, and that's the bacterial wilt. Sadly, that means that these bags just won't be a good option once spring rolls around. Fall and winter veggies aren't affected by the wilt, so we're fine for the cooler seasons, but I've already lost several tomato plants and even a few peppers in these bags because the fabric is porous, the wilt spreads too easily, and I think this space will be much better used for another hydroponic build. Here's the good news. My hydroponic gardens have been the only places that stay completely free of wilt. Yes, there's a higher cost up front, but I'm not wasting money on soil that might get contaminated and need to be tossed out every year. So if you'd like to see us create a brand new hydroponic system here, make sure to hit subscribe and follow along over the next couple of months as we turn this fire pit garden into something even better. Now it's hot here still, and so what I'm trying to do is wait until the beds are a little shaded. Like you can see here, these have been planted out for a while now. They look so sad during the hottest part of the day, but they always bounce back in the afternoons. So that's really what I've been kind of waiting for maybe some shade to hit there. But I can certainly come and start working on some of these other beds. Now I had planted out this bed with mostly tomatoes, but I lost two and I have another one that's struggling. So I'm kind of not sure what's really going on with this bed. But I'm going to go ahead and use this opportunity to plant out a cauliflower snow crown. I like to lay out my plants first so I can double check the spacing. These are all broccoli and cabbages, and while they look tiny right now, they'll get really big as they grow. I'm the first to admit I have a habit of overcrowding my beds. Broccoli generally needs about 18 to 24 inches between plants. I'm sneaking mine a little closer this time, but I stay on top of it by trimming any leaves that start overlapping or shading a neighbor. With regular pruning, I can usually pull off a slightly tighter spacing without stressing the plants.
These plants can tolerate and can even benefit from being planted deep in the soil. I try to make sure that I have enough soil around the stem to stabilize the plant. If I water the new transplants and I see them flop over under the weight, I will come back in and prop them up with more dirt around their stems. I have found that by doing this extra step when needed leads to sturdier plants as they grow, which tend to fall over less in the wind.
So I've mentioned it in some of my previous videos, but I do not recommend putting fertilizer directly in your planting hole. I got burned last year and lost plants doing that. And for years prior, I had done it with no problems. But now I'm a little bit shy about doing that. So what I like to do is once we've planted out the plants, I just will come in and make little rows between the plants. And that's where I will lay down my fertilizers. So you can see we have our baby plants here, and I will just come make like a little row, nothing too complicated. Doesn't really matter. I do compost in place, as you can see here, but I will do this just to have a place to put my fertilizers. And all I'm going to use for fertilizers for my fall crops, I do a little bit of alfalfa pellets. I will do a little bit of wood ash from our smoker, and I just do a little bit of granular. Our basil line is pretty dried at this point, but we're gonna pull it down into a bowl. You can see back there. And then if it needs to be dehydrated more, we'll put it in our dehydrator just because we're ready to get this down. All in all, not bad for a day's work. Just another day in the garden. Well guys, thanks for hanging out with me today. We got a lot accomplished. Not everything I wanted to get accomplished, but it is still really hot here. So it's hard to be out, in the middle of the day for too long. But we got a good bit done. More to come in the future, of course. And since I'm always expanding my garden, that's pretty much just how it goes around here. So if you found this video enjoyable, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you're into gardening and homesteading content, I encourage you to subscribe. And until next time, stay blessed.
Oh, look at my little happy visitor.